Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 103 of Nintendo Unleashed. We are BlazeKick's weekly Nintendo podcast. Let's introduce this week's cast and crew. I'm Noah. I'm here with Connor.
Hi there.
And guest Tyler.
Hi.
So, the show this week, we don't have a ton of news. We've got some interesting topics to discuss. Some more details on Switch stuff, as well as a new Pokemon app. And as always, we're going to start off by talking about what we've been playing this week. So, Connor, I'll let you get started.
I just want to say first, this is surprising that it took till the last episode of January to have an episode where we had nothing really to talk about. That's normally all of January.
Mm-hmm. Switch month, so that
and episode 100 was the week before that, which we didn't have a ton of stuff that we just kind of had a party and whatever.
Right.
So, anyway, I beat the main campaign of LEGO Dimensions. I'm thinking about platinuming that because the hardest trophies, looking at the list, are beating the portal level in 25 minutes because there's like a bunch of unskippable cutscenes which apparently count for your time, and getting all the collectibles. I checked and it's possible to platinum it with just the starter pack, so
oh, nice. That helps.
I think I can do it. Plus, I have a few other figures I bought. I also played a little bit of Uncharted 1 still. Pokemon Sun because Bank came out, and it's kind of dumb how they're doing it because like the national Pokedex isn't in Sun or Moon at all. It's in Pokemon Bank. So while on one hand it's kind of nice how now you don't have to catch them all again, it just auto syncs it if you've ever caught them all and synced it.
Right.
But if you want to read the Pokedex entry for something not in the regional Pokedex, you have to go to Bank. So
that's kind of a hassle.
Yeah, I mean, or you could just go to like Cerebi or something.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's kind of annoying, but I mean, whatever. There's this cool symbol if you import Pokemon from the Game Boy games that looks like a little Game Boy instead of the cross from not Unova, Alola, or the Pentagon from Kalos. And I also played Love Live, and that's it.
Nice. Now, what I'm curious about LEGO Dimensions, I haven't played a LEGO game in a long time. I don't know how many you've played. Would you say the gameplay is similar to the others? I haven't really read much about that game.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same as a LEGO game, except there's no free play mode because you can bring any character into any stage you want, which, I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense for sometimes if you, like, say, bring Scooby-Doo into the Scooby-Doo level and then you see Scooby-Doo in the cutscenes doing stuff and he's clearly not involved with you. So, I mean, it makes little sense at some points, but it's whatever. You can bring whoever you want into any level at any time. And there's like bonus areas, I guess, that you can go to with certain characters with certain abilities.
I feel like that's kind of a given with I feel like that's kind of a given with the whole thing. You're talking about the whole bring in the character in that's part of the level and then seeing a second of that person. That just reminds me of like when you unlock bonus skins or something in other games, and it's like, ooh, I can play as Elena Fisher in Uncharted, but now it's Elena in a cutscene with Elena. This is weird.
Oh, well, in the cutscenes in LEGO Dimensions, it's just always Wild Style, Gandalf, and Batman, even if you didn't have them on the portal. But it's just weird how, like, the Scooby-Doo level has Scooby and Shaggy kind of going through this mansion, and you're following them. So it's just weird how it shows them go through this door, and then the door locks, and then all of a sudden Scooby's with you when the cutscene ends. That's what I mean.
Speaking of good, weird things in cutscenes, shout out to Bayonetta 2 for having the Nintendo costumes and letting you open and close the Samus visor.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was watching Tom Fox did an LP of it on stream, and he thought it was hilarious, the fact that you could just, like, do really stupid good timing with the visor and cutscenes. It's just like this slow motion freeze frame that it's like
so good.
Yeah.
How about you, Tyler? What you've been playing?
Resident Evil 7.
Oh,
Move
right.
on. Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Resident Evil 7. I did it as a Blaze Kick Live for 40 minutes because the VR scared the shit out of me.
Yeah,
which is good.
I've heard that's the general consensus. The VR is rather disturbing.
Yeah, the VR is actually pretty spot on, I'd say. It's actually the way you should play it. I played, after playing the first 40 minutes in VR, I went on to just play it on standard television mode. Just to get used to all the styles and everything, because it is entirely different. It has like an entirely different approach to horror than a lot of the other Resident Evil games have done. But at its core, it still feels like a Resident Evil game. Like, there's a broken shotgun puzzle, which is the classic puzzle from any Resi game. Is you go into a room, there's a shotgun, you take it, and you can't leave the room. So go find a broken shotgun and put it in the spot, and you get a shotgun. Woo! Hooray! But like, they add so much more to it. It's also something where a lot of people were worried that Resident Evil 7 wouldn't feel like a Resident Evil game in first person, but that's not the case. Like, it feels like a Resident Evil game at its core, and just does a lot of stuff. Like, as I played through it, I was expecting repeat, but they kept doing new, fresh things, which I found incredibly interesting. So after I beat the game, I got the good ending because I'm a good person. And I went to just restart the game in VR mode to see how it was. And the aiming in VR...
Isn't it like head tracking aiming?
Yeah, it's head tracking aiming, which is perfect. It's perfect. Because that's like my main concern with Farpoint when it comes out, is that it's going to be a VR game that uses the move to aim weapons, which is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
But I don't think it would have been any better in Resident Evil 7, because the way that head tracking works is it's perfect as it is, because you can be a lot more accurate, because you can't just rattle off a magazine and a pistol so quickly. There's a little bit of downtime you have to do between shots, so it's like bang bang instead of just being bang bang bang.
Right.
But if you wait a little bit longer, every time you shoot, the reticle extends, and then it goes back to a dot. If you wait for it to be a dot, then it deals bonus damage. So like, it's a risk reward kind of thing, where, but like, trying to aim with a stick is a lot more difficult than aiming with VR, because you have to be more precise. You have to fine tune your aim, but you just look at the dude.
Yeah.
And his head explodes. It's perfect.
It almost seems a little too easy, but I guess
it seems a little bit too easy, but it is insanely easy to die. In my first playthrough, I died 9 times.
Oh wow!
And it was like a 9-hour playthrough, but that's on par for other Resi games.
Nice.
I think the longest Resident Evil game was like 20 hours, and I think that was Resi 4. So, even then, you can beat Resi 4 in 2 hours if you speedrun. But yeah, Resi 7, it caught me off guard, because I was expecting it to just be okay and like be the step in the right direction it needed, and like do all the right things so people knew that Capcom got it right. And they did. Which is apparently good. You'll have to censor that, I guess. But yeah, I forgot that I'm not on PlayStation Point. Whoops. But yeah, Resi 7 was the reason I got VR for PlayStation. I got PlayStation VR. And it's going to be another year until the VR is put onto PC. So I'd say that Resi 7 is awesome. And I'm doing my second playthrough in VR because it's awesome and I love it. And I still haven't found everything.
And is
I'll
the
be that bitch.
right? And obviously the game is currently on PS4. Is it out on PC yet or not yet?
It's out on PC and Xbox One.
Okay, I did not know it was out on Xbox.
It's a Play Anywhere game on Xbox One, actually.
Oh, nice.
So if you own it on Xbox One, you can play it with cross-save functionality on Windows 10 devices.
Sweet.
It's also on Steam for people who don't want to use the Windows Store. But
Reasonable.
Yeah. I'd say that the PS4 version is the way to go, though, if you want like the best experience. If you have VR, I should say, is probably the one to go to. But I'd say that it's an excellent trek down survival horror, because they give you ammunition when it's necessary, but there's also an inventory management system because of limited inventory, as well as a crafting system, where it's like you find these core ingredients for stuff and you can make like first aid medication. So you need like an herb and chem fluid. But if you wait a little bit and you find, gunpowder, you can mix that with chem fluid to make ammunition for your handgun, or use a stronger chem fluid and turn it into an enhanced weapon or enhanced bullets that make stronger ammo. Like it allows you to fill in the gaps that you might have based on how you play. So if you like play really conservatively,
you'll get rewarded for that.
If you play like really conservative and you take a lot of hits and you don't like waste all your ammo, then you can use your ingredients to make more healing items. But if you're not conservative and you prefer to keep your health but you spend your ammo, then you can compensate for that as well, which is fantastic.
Nice.
And I can't even explain how good the game looks. It's fantastic. Like it's top tier. And beginning hour couldn't even. In beginning hour, I don't even think defines a whole lot of what Resident Evil 7 is good for. So I'd say if you haven't played beginning hour yet, then Resident Evil 7 is worth a shot. But if you have played beginning hour, expect things to like go up a few notches, because that game gets insane. It gets Resident Evil insane pretty quickly.
That's one game I'd love to play, but unfortunately, I'm not too compatible with horror games. So maybe someday.
I absolutely adore survival horror games. I'm not a huge fan of like spooky. Like I'm not a fan of Outlast or Penumbra or Amnesia or Soma, stuff like that. But I'm also not a fan of Dead Space because, in Dead Space, it followed the same trope as Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 4 and 5 did, which is you are a human arsenal. Go kill those things before they kill you. And Resident Evil 7 goes back to like the Resident Evil 1 and 2 era where it's like, you are a human arsenal, but we're going to give you the resources you don't want, but may need later. So it's like, I have this gun, but it's going to take most of my ammunition to kill this guy. Right. So I should just stun him and run away. It's one of those things where for the first time in a while, you have to weigh your options. Like, are you going to be able to take down this guy with the supplies you have, or should you just duck out and come back to it later?
Right. That's kind of interesting because I think in so many games, like, it's a no-brainer. Like, yeah, you're going to take on that enemy. But I think it's interesting that the game makes you stop and think. Obviously, that's comparable to something like, I don't know, Dark Souls, where maybe if you stumble across this boss and you're like, oh, I'm not ready.
Yeah, it's more like you get to the end of the area, but you're not too sure on if you can defeat this boss with the supplies you have. But you try, and if it doesn't work, you die and you start over, and then you know everything down that line, and you can get better and better at that section.
Right.
But this one is like it's really good at giving checkpoints when it matters and giving save points when it matters. Like, you'll find a save room when you need to travel a long distance to get to a save room. So, like, there's always a save room in an area, and there's always a save room within a transition of an area. And they always checkpoint you near really dangerous rooms, which is good because if you die, you just start at that room. And the fact being is that it's more like it's a better version of the system that was in the original Resident Evil trilogy, Resident Evil 1 through 3, which is when you die, you go back to your last save, which is fine. That happens as well in Resident Evil if you didn't get a checkpoint. And those checkpoints are only really matter for structural stuff, like if there's an important cutscene or if there's a boss fight, which is fine. You don't need a checkpoint after every room because that's going to be stupid, and there's no risk to dying at that point. But it has the same management that you would expect from the original Resident Evil games, which is ammo is very limited. They give you the resources you need in case you need to fight, but they don't stockpile you with hundreds of bullets.
Right.
I think the most ammo I ever had for a weapon was like 40 shells for a shotgun. And if you're doing a boss fight, you run out of shotgun shells pretty quickly because that is your powerhouse weapon. But even then, it's like you don't get access to the most powerful weapon in the game, which is a Magnum, the classic, until you find 9 really tiny coins in this game, which is good. It gives you incentive to explore. You get to the point where you can get this Magnum, and it's like, oh, you can spend 3 coins to increase your max health, or spend 5 coins to increase your reload speed, or you can stockpile these coins and get the Magnum, which is extremely limited in resources. You get maybe 10 shots in the entire game for the Magnum.
Oh.
But it's extremely powerful.
Right.
So it's like,
Lots of choices.
You have to, you weigh your options. Like, what is more important to you right now? Can you manage without these things? And that's what survival horror should be about. That's what survival horror was in Resident Evil 1 through 3. Do I fight this guy, or do I reserve ammo in case something worse is down the lane? The fact that you don't know that is important. And the fact that the game lets you make those options makes it probably one of the best Resident Evil games that has come out in the past decade, is because you need to weigh those options. And I'm going to be talking about this a bit more when I review it, because that review is happening. But like I was blown out of the water. I already had high expectations for Resident Evil 7, but it's kind of amazing that game somehow exceeded that. Like, I was expecting something more Resi 4 style horror, but I got like Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 2 horror where you kind of figure out what's happening quickly, but the game just keeps throwing shit at you that keeps catching you off guard.
Right.
So I'm excited. I'm excited to review that.
It looks great. I've not had as much playtime this week, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's Resident Evil 7 is the only game I played this week. So, I mean, I just played Pokemon Picross while we were doing the intro. So, does that count? Pokemon Picross is good. It takes you like a year and a half to beat it if you don't spend money. Okay, moving on.
So I've been chipping away at Mario Run. What I will say is I still love the game's World Tour mode. Now that I'm done the purple coins, I'm chipping away at the black coins, and I'm about 3/4 of the way there. And they're so good. They're so tough. You actually have to think. The purple coins and pink coins feel kind of mindless, but you really have to plan out these black coins. So I enjoy that a lot. It feels very unique for a Mario game. It almost feels like it harkens back to Super Mario 64, where you're walking around this level thinking, how do I get there, you know? So it gives me a similar vibe to that, which I haven't felt in a Mario game in a while. And I started it a little bit ago, like earlier this evening, but my goal this weekend is to hopefully beat Bayonetta 2, because my goal by the time the Switch comes out is to beat that game and Yoshi's Woolly World, just in an attempt to clean up my backlog a tiny bit.
Yeah, I'm having that problem too. I have like 90% of my Wii U library is unfinished.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like I love these games, but I don't think I'm going to feel as inclined to play them once the Switch is out. So I want to get some of them out of the way now, you know? That's my logic.
That's a good incentive. I should really start thinking about that. I should stop thinking about, man, I need to buy this game, and I need to beat these games before I buy this game. Because I think my backlog is like 600 games that are not beaten yet. So 600 games I haven't beaten that dates back like 20 years. So I'm kind of
sometimes you just got to let go, right?
Yeah, I kind of just went, I'll beat them eventually, and then I'll move on to a different game and beat it. I'm just like, man, I don't have any games to play.
Oh, wait,
let me look at my backlog. Right, 100 games I haven't even played.
My current weird Wii U regret is opening Tokyo Mirage Sessions, because I played the first hour and really enjoyed it, but I simply don't have time to play more. And had I left that game sealed, I could have get so much money for it in 15 years. But
would you?
I mean, it seems like it might be a rare one with how little it sold.
Yeah, that's fair.
Who knows?
I mean, it's probably not going to be as expensive as, say, a fresh sealed copy of Xenoblade Chronicles. Which,
right.
Now that I think about it, the price for that probably isn't very good either, since they released it digitally on Wii U. By the way, that's probably like the only way I'm actually going to sit down and play Xenoblade Chronicles again, is if I buy it digitally. because I can't.
And you can
I
play it
just
on the
can't.
gamepad, which is great.
Yeah, I just can't. I can't even. Like, I've already
Channeling
explained
your
it.
inner white girl.
Yeah, I can't even, bro. I can't even. No, I had this discussion with someone in a random Discord that I liked Xenoblade Chronicles X more because I had my own expectations going in, but Xenoblade Chronicles was one of those games where somebody gave me exceedingly high expectations, and the moment I played, I was just like, I'd rather go play this. You know, you guys know him. He bought 3 copies of the game, and he bought 3 copies of the game and kept talking about it like every day. This is pre-Blaze Kick, by the way, so maybe you don't know him.
No, I remember that.
Yeah,
It was on Twitter too. So
yeah.
He was hyping it up before it came out, and then I was just like, well, I mean, might as well support it because all that Operation Rainfall, I think that was Rainfall.
Yep, Rainfall.
Stuff to bring it over, so might as well support it. And then I was like, oh, this isn't very fun.
Yeah, I played like the first hour, and I was like, yeah, this isn't for me. And everybody tells me that Xenoblade Chronicles is better than X. I'm like, yeah, I guess in a way, but I don't know. It isn't for me.
I never played either. Well, I never even started X, and I barely played the original.
I like X a lot more, but it's really only if you like sci-fi plot. Like I will tell you straight up, it's got a sci-fi plot.
Yeah. For me, Chronicles is, one of those games where I can appreciate everything about it, but, well, most things. The one part that really helps or hurts for me is with me, like, RPGs and the extent to which they kind of overwhelm me in some aspects kind of turn me off. Like, when I get to this boss, it's like, okay, I can't beat this boss, so I can A, grind, B, level up my abilities, or C, learn what these abilities do, but I still don't really understand what they do. So for me, that lack of understanding can hurt. But someday I'd love to dive back into it because it seems like it has a really nice world.
Yeah.
I'm
that said, I haven't heard anything about, what were the other 2 games? The Last Story and Pandora's Tower?
Yeah.
I haven't heard about those games.
Mm-hmm. I've heard good stuff about The Last Story, but Pandora's Tower kind of seemed like a flash in the pan. So
Pandora's Tower was one of those things where I think it would have been exceedingly popular if you were a fan of, I'd say DMC, like the original Devil May Cry. I think it's more akin to Devil May Cry.
I rented The Last Story from the library, and I didn't play it very long because for some reason my save corrupted or something. But I think I played like the first 3 hours, and it was pretty fun.
That's actually one of the reasons why after for like a year I had been trying to play Link's Awakening DX, and I got pretty far at one point. And then at some point my save file corrupted, so I was just like, oh, screw it. And like last month I was like, all right, I'm done trying to play through Link's Awakening DX. I'm actually kind of sick of this game. So I did the doghouse glitch and just beat the game in 10 minutes. I was like, wow, this is surprisingly easy with just the bow. So yeah, I glitch beat Link's Awakening DX because I couldn't be bothered to play through Link's Awakening DX for like a 4th time. Which, can anybody blame me?
No.
I'm one of those guys who likes to play games repeatedly. Like I like playing through games over and over again and like getting better at them and learning new things and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I've beaten Paper Mario maybe like 20 or 30 times, and I've had it since release. And like I have the player's guide, and that player's guide is scribbled with notes about things that are wrong in the guide. So like I've played games for like 2 decades and keep playing them again. Like I beat it last year again with the 5 HP challenge, and I still go back to play it. It's like, but Link's Awakening DX was just like, all right, I've had it.
Mm-hmm.
Had it. Just let me enjoy the credits, please.
Yep.
I've had that experience before as well with other games. What was the most recent one where I was like, all right, I have to beat this game? I don't even know, honestly. I think Gears of War 3, actually. I got to the point where the plot twist happens, where like a key character dies. And I'm not going to say anything more about that.
Yeah.
and then a friend spoiled me on it. Like, I was just about to see that point, and then he spoiled it for me. So I didn't touch the game for like 3 years except to play Horde mode. And then 3 years later, I was like, all right, I'm just going to sit down and beat this. And like 5 minutes after I started playing it again, the scene happened. And I was like, no.
Well, there's that.
Yeah. So I beat the game. The final boss is annoying as shit. And I went on to other games. I was just like, all right, I'm done playing Gears 3 now.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes, even if you don't, if you're not too well. I mean, maybe even if you enjoy the game, but even if you're not looking forward to beating it, sometimes beating it just mentally frees you up for other stuff. Feels like you don't have like a grudge with the game.
A grudge is a very distinct word to put into that. A grudge.
Yeah.
A lot of games I haven't beaten, I have grudges with. Like, I refuse to beat Mighty Number 9.
Oh well, can't play me there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I can't. I backed that motherfucker, so I can decide whether or not I want to play it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was
your
my
game?
money. It's not your money you wasted. It's not your money I wasted. I wasted my own money here. In fact, I feel even worse. I wasted my parents' money. So yeah, ukulele. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. Please be.
Who's excited for ukulele?
Whew. I mean,
Ooh, boy.
I'm sad because I have to wait for the Switch version, but I'll play it anyway.
I have a feeling that the conversion to Switch will be not as difficult as it will be about the same level as putting it on PC because it's running on NVIDIA's hardware. So.
Yeah. Anyway, Nintendo download this week is pretty darn light, but I'll run through it real quick.
What a shock.
Yeah. On Wii U Virtual Console, there are 3 NES titles from developer Culture Brain. We have Flying Warriors, Little Ninja Brothers, and Kung Fu Heroes, which are some good titles.
Oh yeah, I know that company. I don't know that company. Who are they?
I don't know. Apparently, they're good. I don't know. First I've heard.
You put on Wii Virtual Console.
First I've heard of them. On the 3DS eShop, Candy Please, which, according to the description, it was originally part of the Quiet collection on Wii U, but missing from the Quiet Please collection on the 3DS. Now it's separately available for $1.99.
Okay.
And also on 3DS, Word Search 10,000, which apparently is an enormous word search with 10,000 words hidden in a grid of 90,000 letters.
So is it just one word search puzzle then?
Apparently, like it's just a massive word search.
Can you save your progress?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, apparently it's split into 100 sections, so I don't know how
So
that...
So that's basically just 100 puzzles then.
Yeah, that's just 100 puzzles.
Well,
That's like, ooh, look, this 80 tile puzzle in Pokemon Picross that makes a giant mural. It's 80 puzzles.
yeah.
You're not solving one giant puzzle. You're you're finishing 80 tiny puzzles,
Right.
tiny easy ass puzzles
Mhm.
to make something fancy at the end. It's like
Yeah.
it's like connect the dots.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
It's like,
Kinda
oh
like
look, I can make a picture by drawing lines. What the really?
I'm an artist.
I'm an Look, I know how to make lines go from place to place. Meanwhile, the guy who makes like anime creators are just like, that's cute.
Anyway, so we have a quick, as I mentioned earlier, we have some quick tidbits we're going to run through before we talk about some Switch stuff and Mario Kart stuff, because why not? So first up, Pokemon Duel has come to iOS and Android. It is a free download. This was released as Pokemon Co-Master in Japan, I think around the same time as Pokemon Go. I forget exactly when.
I think it was November.
Oh, a bit later then, my bad. So it looks like this game is sort of like a strategy, almost tactical type game.
Strategy is not the word I would use for this.
Bit simpler?
They call it a strategy game, but it's basically from what I've heard described of it, I haven't played it myself, but you know how Smogon, well, I don't know how much you know of Smogon, but they hate all luck related stuff in Pokemon and try to get rid of all the luck stuff. Like they banned Sand Attack and Double Team and all that stuff. So it's basically someone hated Smogon and made a game 100% luck based just to spite them, and then released it as a free to play mobile game.
Yeah. Nice. Good stuff.
So if you want a game that's 100% luck based, this is for you.
So go play Fallout Shelter. That's still a thing.
Or Love Live.
Yeah.
Or Love Live.
Or Love Life. Yeah. Boas. Boas is awesome. Conor, have you played Boas?
Boas? No.
That's good. That's good. It's a good game. It has like a lot of I particularly like it as a rhythm game because it's a dynamic field kind of thing where instead of like Love Live where there's 8 places to hit, the places you're supposed to hit the notes on always change because it's kind of like a light show.
I think I've played that.
Yeah, it's like a light show where the bars always change to the rhythm of the music.
Yeah, I think I played that, but I didn't like the music or something. Which, I mean, if you don't like the music, then
That's
should
not a point
play
to
the
play
rhythm game.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I love Boas a lot though. It goes on free rotation a lot, I know. But yeah, Pokemon Duel, I don't like. I heard it came out and I was like, what the fuck is Pokemon Duel? How did nobody tell me about Pokemon Duel? Apparently nobody knew about Pokemon Duel.
Well, I mean, if you followed Joe Merrick on Twitter, he's been posting about how much he hates it. But
that's fair. That's fair.
So that's legit the only reason I knew about it. Because even if I just followed the Cerebi channel or Twitter page and not him, I still probably wouldn't have known about it.
That would have been like knowing that Final Fantasy IX was on iOS. Like up until I was researching what the Steam version of Final Fantasy IX was, I had no idea they released Final Fantasy IX on iOS. So like, you know, for like $22, you can get a 100-hour JRPG on your phone. That's a good way to waste time on your flight. You know what's also a good way to waste time on your flight? Nintendo Switch.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I thought you were actually going to segue there because our next topic's about handheld games.
That's.
That
Oh, we are. I thought we already did that topic. Whoops.
So if you have a spare Andrew Jackson corpse laying around, then Nintendo wants it and will give you either Kirby Triple Deluxe or Mario and Luigi Dream Team in exchange. That is to say, those 2 games are now part of the Nintendo Selects, which means they're $20.
Yay! Woo! Yeah, I mean, not much to say. They're both good games. So
yeah,
you know, if you like Kirby or Mario and Luigi and you have a 3DS, I'd say they're both worth it.
For some reason, I haven't bought them yet. Like,
yeah,
I'm sure if you like Kirby, you probably already have Triple Deluxe.
Oh, maybe if you got a 3DS recently, like in 2016, I know a ton of people got one in 2016 because of Pokemon Go. So maybe some of those people like Kirby but don't have this game yet. So now's the time.
Yeah. As for me, I'd probably go for Kirby Triple Deluxe. But at the same time,
I agree.
Playing at Robobot, I don't know. For twice the price, I think Robobot would be my go-to.
Right. Maybe if you played Robobot and you're craving more.
Yeah. I can see that. Yeah.
They're pretty similar, but they're both good games.
The one thing I noticed is that anytime I play Kirby Superstar, I'm like, man, I could really go for playing Kirby 64 right about now. Like there's something about playing a Kirby game that makes me go, man, nothing like a game of hide and seek crystal finding to really all fair enough as it is. Doing the hide and seek thing probably unlocks one of the best bosses in Kirby history. Like I still consider 02 to be one of the best bosses in Kirby games.
Kirby bosses are weird, man.
Well, I mean,
so good,
it can't get any weirder than Marks' Soul.
Yeah.
Like Marks' Soul was like the pinnacle of what am I fighting?
Yeah. Is this a children's game?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Well, I don't know. If you want to talk about is this a kid's game, then Kirby's Dream Land 3 should be the one where you question it. Because that's like, okay, the final boss is a giant eyeball, and every time you shoot it, it bleeds. You did enough damage. Now its cornea is going to explode, and you fight the cornea. Good luck. Like, what is this? Why I am 12? What is this?
Good stuff. Anyway, so what I would consider our first, I guess, major. I mean, I feel like to us it's major. Depending, I guess, on your opinion. Major piece of news: Tomorrow Corporation bringing their 3 games to Switch at launch.
Yeah.
Obviously, sounds like they're going to be digital downloads as opposed to retail games, and they're coming separately.
Which gets rid of that stupid theory about the eShop not being there at launch.
Yeah. That would be very bad in 2017.
At the same time, I would be perfectly okay with seeing digital games getting a card release like that.
Oh, totally.
Well,
I mean, look at Binding of Isaac.
Yeah, Binding of Isaac's getting one.
Yeah. Axiom Verge has a steelbook that IndieBox is doing. Like IndieBox is the website where once every so often they do a box that has a bunch of free loot with like some physical gear, so you have a physical box version of a digital game. But they've been actually doing physical releases now, and one of them is Axiom Verge. You get a steelbook version of Axiom Verge, which I think is awesome.
There's also limited run games.
Limited run games. Yeah.
Indie stuff on PS4 and Vita physical, and they said they want to do Switch as well.
Nice.
Didn't Limited Run do Hyper Light Drifter?
I think so.
It was either them or no, because IndieBox did Titan Souls. Yeah, so it would have been Limited Run. But yeah, though, like getting, I think that's one of the best things about where we are right now in gaming is that indie games can now be bought alongside the AAA titles, which is awesome.
It's awesome. Yeah. Seeing Shovel Knight on shelves last year was great. You know.
Yeah, I think that was like the turning point where indie
Shovel Knight getting an amiibo.
Yeah, that was like the turning point for developers where we're just like, if we can make our game good, then we can do anything like this. We can make physical releases and make an amiibo. Okay, maybe just the physical release will be good for us. I don't know if we should go the amiibo route quite yet. Maybe an amiibo card that comes with the game. I don't know.
I wonder if anyone else is gonna make an amiibo, because so far it's just
it's the only one so far.
I wonder if
we'll get a ukulele.
I wwonder if Nintendo will finish the amiibo they started. We still haven't gotten the Bayonetta and Corinne amiibo yet.
Or Cloud.
Yeah, or Clued. Yeah, no Clued Strafe amiibo yet.
Anyway, so in regards to these games, I didn't even say their names yet, I don't think. World of Goo, Little Inferno, and Human Resource Machine. So I played
about Little Inferno a while back.
I think Conor and I probably talked about it extensively on the show.
So did Arms. I think we said it was one of our favorite Wii U eShop games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Conor, you've played all but Human Resource Machine, right?
Yeah.
And Tyler, have you played just Little Inferno?
I played Little Inferno and World of Goo.
Okay, nice. So yeah, I mean, they're great games. I'm glad they're here. What's kind of interesting is that Little Inferno is a Wii U launch title. World of Goo was not Wii launch, but it was like close to Wii launch, if I recall.
Yeah, it was actually like one of the WiiWare launch titles.
Oh, nice.
It was one of the first WiiWare titles on the Wii Shop channel.
So it's cool to see them coming back.
Yeah, I think it was actually before the Strong Bad game.
Oh wow!
I think about it.
It's kind of and what's kind of weird is World of Goo was never released on Wii U. It actually would have been a perfect fit because it would support both touch and pointer. Yeah. But alas, better late than never.
I mean, yeah. To be fair, it was one of those things where World of Goo was. I mean, because it's really hard to explain. It was one of those things where Little Inferno was coming out at the right time for it to be on Wii U. That they probably just put World of Goo on the side for the time being. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, you can just go to the Wii Shop channel from your Wii U and buy World of Goo in the WiiWare set. So you could technically have it on Wii U if you wanted. But the point being is that we're at a completely new generation where people who are getting a Switch who probably skipped the Wii U never got to experience Human Resource Machine or Little Inferno yet. So they're going to be able to experience all that, and then World of Goo, which didn't even get released on Wii U. So I think it's a smart call by them.
No, it's awesome, and with how few games it seems like are going to be on the eShop at launch, hopefully these games will get a lot of exposure for new players, and because I think they deserve it. They're amazing. For me personally, what kind of makes Human Resource Machine different is the first two are heavily physics based. Obviously, to a lesser extent with Little Inferno, but it still had that physics element. Whereas Human Resource Machine completely ditched that, which I think is a part of why I don't like it as much. Mm-hmm. The first two games felt very tactile. This one I mean, obviously that's kind of part of the theme. Like it's about computers and programming, so it feels, more less tactile. Like it feels very robotic and
it's one of those weird things where I can safely say that Tomorrow Corporation's games, they always felt like the games about doing nothing. Because like World of Goo is like you put a ball and get it to the end.
You build bridges. Yeah.
Yeah, you build bridges and get them to the end, and then Little Inferno is you burn. Yeah. And so it's like I think we need games like that though. We need games.
No, totally. What's kind of funny is those first two games are very simplistic, and the third game is like you're programming computers now.
Yeah.
Big jump up in complexity. Which,
Pony Island. Okay.
Yeah. I haven't played that game. I want to.
Pony Island is kind of crazy. I don't think it would be put on Switch because that has a little bit of data mining in it.
So yeah, definitely. For me personally, I think I'll definitely be picking up World of Goo again. I don't think I'll be picking up Little Inferno again just because I played that game to death on Wii U. Human Race Machine, I don't know if I like it enough to pick up again, but World of Goo definitely. So I'm excited. Anyway, next up. Oh, also, one other quick thing I want to mention. When these were first announced, I was kind of curious as to whether these games will be playable on the TV or just on the handheld mode. Because they're all, they can be played with basically either pointer or touch, but I thought, well, have we really, the only thing we've seen on Switch implementing pseudo pointer controls is Splatoon 2. And so I reached out to them on Twitter, asked, will World of Goo and Inferno be playable on the TV on Switch or just handheld mode? And they replied and said all three games are fully playable in handheld mode. And while they didn't say that it's not playable in TV mode, the reply to me anyway, again, this is by no means confirmation, but the wording would seem to suggest to me that they are solely playable on the handheld.
I have a feeling that they're accounting for TV mode.
Just like by default.
But yeah, it because you can't forget that this is, by all definition, a form factor console. A lot of games are being developed as a handheld game.
Yeah.
But you can't.
But at the same time, Nintendo is marketing it as a home console, so the other end of it.
Yay!
Yeah. Discussion.
Anyway,
So,
video games.
speaking of Nintendo's marketing,
With another Waker Wednesday.
Nintendo has had some pretty weird advertising pretty much over the ever, because
over the century.
I haven't seen their commercials for Hanafuda cards.
Hanafuda.
Fuda. Why did I keep saying Fun? I kept saying like Funda. But anyway, I haven't seen commercials. If they even had commercials for those, they probably would have just had newspaper printings. But at least their video game ads have all been weird. Well, not all, but
the good ones.
They've done some pretty weird marketing. And recently, I think it was Nintendo Germany specifically. Then it got a dub uploaded.
I think by
all the other European countries. Features some guy playing the Switch on the toilet, and that kind of got spread around the internet a lot. And people were saying that should have been used for the Wii U's marketing, because that's a pretty good feature, being able to get up while playing Mario and not have to stop playing. I
think the tough part with the Wii U is they can't guarantee that you will be able to play in your bathroom.
Well, people posting about an ad for the GameCube Wavebird controller where the guy had like a mirror on his door and angled the door so he could keep playing while on the toilet.
Yeah, I remember that. I have a Wavebird controller, by the way. Just so you know how impactful these advertisements were to a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
Have you ever done that? Have you ever added a mirror to your bathroom door
for that sole purpose?
Have one. You two joke, but I played the Wii U in the bathroom. It worked. It worked.
Yeah.
Kinda. It was like one of those weird things where I decided to play Wind Waker because, I wanted to see how good the wireless connection was for the gamepad. It turns out that as long as you're within like 5 feet of the gamepad, you can play it through a closed door. But it's don't play Zelda on the toilet. It's kind of hard to focus on two things like that. You can't solve a puzzle.
Right.
You can't solve a puzzle from Zelda and take a dump. It's not a crossword puzzle.
Yeah, no. Perhaps Mario Kart may be better suited. We shall see.
Speaking of Mario Kart, they had some great Mario Kart DS ads.
Don't dump and drive, am I right?
Have you seen those?
That with the crazy Luigi, the Japanese ones?
Yeah, the Japanese ones. The guy doing all the stereotypes for US, Italy, and I think there's one other country. It was great.
Remember the Mario 64 anime commercial? Because there was Mario Kart 64.
Oh,
there was a Mario Kart 64 commercial that had like anime cuts where it would go to gameplay. It started as like an anime section where they were just driving and everything, and it would cut to the gameplay, and it's like this super epic thing where Mario is screaming through this canyon, and then he starts drifting, and there's like tears coming out of his eyes because of how much wind is cutting through him. And it cuts, and it's like slow ass Mario Kart 64. Like, well,
that's so interesting. I'm looking this up right now. I've never seen this.
It's the Japanese commercial, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or the great Smash Bros. Commercial.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That one's a classic though. That one.
Yeah.
That
it's
one,
not really weird.
Yeah, it wasn't weird.
Like,
it was
it's
actually
kind of weird seeing these giant mascot costumes walking through a field or skipping through a field, and then all of a sudden just start pounding each other. But
it was actually a genius. It was actually a genius way to advertise it, because you were just like, oh hey, these characters I'm familiar with. Why are they punching each other? Oh, okay.
Also, fun fact that Mario Kart 64 commercial doesn't even show gameplay.
Oh, does it not really?
It's just all animated.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, that would be kind of funny though if it transitioned to like.
Maybe it wasn't Mario Kart 64. Maybe it was SNES. I don't know.
Either way, good commercial.
Both are slow.
Yeah. Actually, now that I think about it, the Super Mario Kart commercials didn't have gameplay either. Now that I think about it.
Yeah.
But God, the Mario Kart 64 commercial is so crazy. Because like it actually like it's. I don't even know. Like the camera angles are really weird, and I don't even know how to explain it. It's just it has nothing to do with Mario Kart 64. It does not incite that kind of emotion that commercial
not
does.
At all.
Like, oh yeah, riding in go-karts.
Speaking of having nothing to do with the game, what about that Luigi's Mansion commercial?
Oh yeah, how could anyone forget?
You seen that one, Noah?
I don't think so. No.
There's like this guy and this goth chick sitting on a couch, and the goth chick keeps like making seductive faces or something. I forget exactly what she's doing.
I'm watching it right now. Hold on. All right, so I'll give a play-by-play. Yeah, they're sitting on the couch. She's looking at him. Clearly, there's some tension. He's scooting closer. Scooting much closer now. He's talking to her. He's reaching over. Oh, she has a cube on her necklace, maybe? And now he's inside of it. There's Luigi. It's very surreal.
I remember this happening in Luigi's Mansion. That was my favorite part.
And that was this week's episode of.
And now she turned into a GameCube.
Yep. Best. That was my favorite part of Luigi's Mansion, when there's this goth girl just sitting there and you get sucked into her cube necklace, and then she's a GameCube.
Man, I wish that happened all the time. That's basically like Hyperdimension Neptunia, where it's like suddenly these video game consoles are girls now.
I mean, technically, it's the reverse of Hyperdimension Neptunia.
It's the reverse of Hyperdimension Neptunia. You're correct. But it's still funny to me because it's like, oh, these consoles I'm really familiar with, they're Moe girls. Okay.
Anyway,
Cool.
one other commercial I want to mention. Of course, we would like to play Amazing Commercial.
Yeah, just the entire Wii series of like early commercials like that. Like I remember the one where they advertised Metroid Prime 3, and it was like them sitting in an airport. There was a bunch of people sitting in an airport, and like all of a sudden, all of the TVs start playing Metroid Prime 3, and it's just a bunch of people. Like, the funny thing is that commercial probably makes more sense if they were using a Nintendo Switch than a Wii at all, because it's like you have to like set up the console, and then you have to output it to like 100 TVs, and then all of a sudden random people want to play it. Because like probably the motion sensor sucks ass because there's a lot of infrared.
There's a million.
At an airport. But like the Switch makes more sense now because it's just like, hey, do you want to play Metroid Prime 3? Okay, sure. How'd you get Metroid Prime 3 on a Switch? What?
Please, Trilogy HD.
Oh God, could you imagine?
Yeah. Anyway, so
Nintendo, please.
Yeah, like I was saying, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I have a very strange question. Due to the Switch's many intricacies in regards to setups, wireless features, that kind of thing, and I'm curious what you guys think about this. This is a very what's the word? I guess almost arbitrary question. I don't think it'll influence my purchase because my plan is to, regardless of the outcome, sell my copy of Mario Kart 8 on eBay, get about $30, use that towards Deluxe. But what I'm really hoping, and I'm curious again what you guys think, is will there be an option to, if you have 2 Switch consoles and 4 people in tabletop mode, will you be able to have both of them display 2 screens and do wireless, where like you have all 4 people playing this wireless game together, and each one is split into 2 different screens? Because if you theoretically want to play with 4 people, yes, obviously you can split the screen into 4, but that's not going to look too amazing, probably.
I think if we're talking like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe,
yeah,
then I could see it working, just like 2 Switch consoles connecting, and then 2 people being able to play on each screen. That would make more sense because of how tiny that screen is. I couldn't imagine playing it 4-player split screen on that.
Totally. And
tiny thing.
I think probably the best. Oh, Connor, you were gonna say something?
I thought I actually heard you couldn't do 4-player split screen on a single Switch.
Oh, maybe
it had to be in TV mode to do that.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, maybe.
Which is a good design choice.
Yeah, because I doubt you could see.
Split screen on that tiny thing is like, it's like trying to play Mario Kart 8 on a Game Boy Advance SP screen.
Yeah,
like you can't see it. It's like trying to play Overwatch at a 100 by 100 resolution.
Plus, it would pretty much drop to, well, it would drop to 30 frames, so it would look substantially worse. So
by default, when it goes to split screen, it would go to 30 FPS. That's just natural.
Yeah, so I imagine it'll. So hopefully that feature will be there. I think the most encouraging evidence for that is the original trailer showing NBA, where it had that same setup. Obviously, it wasn't split screen, but it was 2 people on each device, face to face.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to mention that.
Which is how NFL usually is, anyways. And the thing is, it's like finally a Madden NFL game makes sense to me, because
in terms of like setup.
Yeah, because it was originally like 4 people playing on the same screen, but now I can actually see Madden NFL being a fun game. I can see other sports games being really fun as well when you add the dynamic of just bringing 2 devices and then doing like. This is literally like a literal split screen experience. Yeah. Oh,
I mean, it's badass. It prevents screen cheating. Like you can have 2 people playing on the opposite sides. You can be doing NFL, and you can like pick your plays, and the other team won't see. You know, it's awesome.
Could you imagine if screen cheat was put on the Switch and you could like connect? It would be like the most pointless thing ever, because it's a 4-player. It's like a 4-player split screen game.
Yeah, but you have to.
But everybody would see all 4 screens on all devices. It would be stupidly hilarious.
I feel like there was a 3DS game or DS game that did that. I forget what game though. I don't think it was first party either. But like just some multiplayer game that you saw all 4 screens at once, and it wasn't necessary for you to, like, it didn't really do anything bad by you doing it, but there was no point to it, and it just made your viewing area smaller. Might have been like a board game or something.
That's terrible. But yeah, screen cheat's cool because like you have to look at the other people's screens. Like that's the point, you know?
Yeah. It's also one of those games where if you're really good at it, then people know you're that guy. It's like a super good way of showing it. It's like a super good way of finding out who was the GoldenEye screen looker or who was the Halo 2 screen looker. You know, it's fun. Also, another game that would be really cool to do to have like a split screen experience with. I really hope they put Civilization on the Switch. That'd be a good one because you could it would basically be playing a tabletop game with friends. You would all have your own screens, and you would all be doing your turns separately, and then it would work just like making Civilization into a game like Settlers of Catan.
No, that'd be awesome. I would check that out.
I could see board game experiences in particular, not calling Civilization a board game experience, strategy game experiences like that would be really cool with this kind of close tabletop experience. The same goes for StarCraft or MOBAs,
right. And it fits the Joy-Con well, especially the board game stuff you mentioned, just because of the simple input.
Yeah, and I mean at the same time you could probably just use touch screen controls.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I could see a lot of things working out with the Switch, just the multi-console capability.
Right.
Up to 8 people. Guess what? Civilization allows up to 8 people. It works.
8-player Smash.
Yes.
8-player Smash. 8-player. I mean, that's kind of arbitrary because everybody would see the same. But okay.
Right. True. Also, other random Switch thing, which I'm very much looking forward to. As much as I hate what Mario Party has become, I know that's. I mean, I really prefer the older games, but I would buy Mario Party 11 just for Dice HD Rumble.
Oh, good lord.
Just saying.
I feel 3 dice cubes in this controller.
I'd rather they did Fortune Street.
You know what? I would be perfectly okay with them putting Fortune Street on the Switch, the new Fortune Street that's coming out on PS4. If not, then I've already come into talks with Conor about when it comes out, I'm going to import it and going to make a video guide for people who want to import it.
Also, this will never happen, but how badass would it be if they updated old Virtual Console games with HD Rumble? Instead of 3D classics, like HD Rumble classics.
So you're walking around in Zelda and you just feel like you're holding a pile of dirt or something.
Yeah. Could you imagine that? I shouldn't even say can you imagine it. It happened. In Japan only, there is a version of Super Mario 64 that had Rumble.
Oh wow!
So if they brought that version of Mario 64 over to the US, then we could have HD Rumble version of Super Mario 64, quote unquote HD, because it's. Although Super Mario 64 DS with HD Rumble would be interesting.
Or they could do Star Fox 64, and when you get shot, the controller gets really hot and burns your hand.
Get ready for haptic feedback, and by that I mean realistic feedback. Your controllers explode when you die. That's the joke.
Yeah, you throw a smart bomb and your controller explodes if you get hit by it.
Yeah,
it's the most expensive game ever.
We're talking about making saw traps for gamers. That's all that's happening. It's like we're playing a literal version of Stay Alive, that one movie about if you die in the game, you die in real life.
How we're using Star Fox 64 as the game for this.
By the way, I'm not talking about SAO with the whole if you die in the game, you die in real life thing. But
hey, that's a quality anime.
It's a quality anime about a harem in MMORPG.
It's not a harem. There's no harem tag on all the websites, so it's not a harem.
With the dumbest mother ever, who's just like, I care for my son, so I'm gonna put myself in this world. Good job. You were the one person who could legit take care of him, and now you're here.
Sword Online is a well-written story that the author himself admitted had plot holes, but he couldn't think of a way to get around them, so he just wrote it anyway.
Yeah. Also, be sure to check out .hack. That game, that is such a ripoff of SAO. It's ridiculous.
When did that come out? 2002?
Yeah, I know. I was talking about how much SAO sucks with a group on Discord, and it was really that discussion how much SAO sucks. And somebody was just like, "Yeah, I was talking with people, and they said that .hack was a ripoff." I was just like, do they know? Do they know that .hack has definitely been around since the PS2? Because I remember .hack games on the PS2.
Yeah, I don't remember. I think the dub came out in 2002 or something. I know it was definitely out like a decade before Sword Art Online, though.
Is it even a guess? Is it even an I think? It's an I know. It's like,
well, I don't remember if it itself came out in 2002 or I know there was something relating around 2002 with it, which Sword Art Online was 2012, so there's the decade.
Oh my god, guys, I just found out something really interesting. Did you know that Dragon Quest is a ripoff of Final Fantasy? No, Dragon Quest is older. It's older. As a matter of fact, Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy are together because the Dragon Quest company merged with the Final Fantasy company.
Welcome back to Anime Unleashed.
Anyway, our poll.
Flappers is really good.
Foot Flappers is really good. Everyone should go watch that.
Yeah.
But yeah, poll.
From a person who doesn't watch anime, I approve.
Poll. Nintendo Unleashed asks. I don't know why I added the Nintendo part there. Which Fire Emblem game are you most hyped for? We got 68 votes. I don't know why this one apparently was more hyped than the Switch question last week. But 51% of you scrubs are excited for the one that we literally know exists and might come next year. Will probably get delayed, but who knows? For the Switch, then 19% for Echoes, which I was personally expecting to win. 18% for Warriors and 12% for Heroes. So if you put Switch below Heroes, that's what I was expecting the results to be in that order. And I just noticed that's the order I typed them up in. So maybe I was trying to subliminally get you guys at the correct order to vote in, but
The true order.
you guys didn't take it.
I memean, for me, what I would look forward to, I mean, obviously this is a very, I guess, shallow, superficial thing, but it'll be exciting to have the first HD Fire Emblem, first console quality one for a decade.
Well, console quality, quote unquote.
Yeah.
It would have to run on a portable.
Right, true. Well, a portable stronger than Wii U.
Yeah, the portable is still stronger than the Wii U. That is something I never thought anybody would say to me.
Yeah.
Like, good lord. Hey guys, did you know that the Vita is better than the PS3 even though they both have the exact same hardware?
Wow.
Buy a PlayStation TV now. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's basically the mix between both. It's just that it removes all the fun of a Vita.
Vita, no fun allowed version.
AKA the Vita.
AKA no tearaway. But I would have voted Warriors just because I like the Dynasty Warriors games, but I never play them.
Yeah.
I like Hyrule Warriors. Actually, wait, isn't it called Legends, not Warriors?
The 3DS version is Hyrule Warriors.
No, Fire Emblem.
It's fine. It's Warriors.
Okay, I was worried for a second there.
Legends is the Dragon Quest one, maybe? No, that's Dragon Quest Heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dragon Quest Heroes is
which is the name of the Fire Emblem app. It gets very confusing.
Good lord, what is happening? Oh yeah, let's not forget about Fire Emblem Sun and Fire Emblem Moon. Those will be fun. Oh yeah, and the true story, Fire Emblem Eclipse. I'm surprised that nobody's thought that that's going to be like the Switch version of Sun and Moon is.
Oh, that's totally it. I've said that on Twitter many times. That's totally.
I don't think there's going to be a Switch version of Sun and Moon.
I doubt it as well.
Because
I would just rather have a new Pokemon Battle Revolution.
Well, like as we've seen with Fire Emblem Echoes, they're still supporting the 3DS, and Nintendo's marketing the Switch as a home console, and Pokemon's like a handheld thing. So I think Pokemon's just going to stick to the 3DS, and then they're eventually going to release like a Switch without the Joy-Con. Well, not like they're permanently attached Joy-Cons, and that will be their handheld thing, and there's no dock or anything. But you can put it in a dock.
Call it the Nintendo Switchless.
I mean, I don't know about the exact thing, but I think they're not done with two consoles yet, even though I kind of wish they would, just because...
I wish they would be, because I thought that was like the point of the Switch, right?
Yeah.
So they can focus all their developments on one system, but...
Yeah, so you don't get it. 3DS has a great year, but Wii U has nothing.
Yeah, but now we're going to get maybe the same thing.
This is gonna be the truth of the matter, is that we won't know. Like, I don't even think Nintendo knows what's going to happen with the 3DS after the Switch comes out. Like, it all depends on what happens with the Switch.
Yeah, I think.
And I think a lot of that. Oh, go ahead, Con. Sorry.
I think they have some plans for the 3DS for the first year, just in case the Switch doesn't take off. So they have, because the 3DS is still selling really well.
Yeah.
Because like we still don't know exactly when like Ever Oasis or Pikmin are coming out.
Mm-hmm.
They're porting Fire Emblem Warriors to it. They're doing Echoes. Yes, new 3DS only, but still 3DS.
Yeah.
There's potentially a new Pokemon game. They have
Lady Layton.
Yeah, Lady Layton. There's an Attack on Titan game, and I'm pretty sure that's been out in Japan for a while. Just about to launch Mario Sports thingy.
Yeah.
Champion. And Yoshi. So I think they have stuff planned for 3DS this year and maybe next year, but after that, they'll kind of wait and see how the Switch does.
Right. I imagine at E3 we'll probably learn a lot of the story too.
Yeah. Anyway, this week's poll, which Tomorrow Corp title are you most interested in out of Little Inferno, World of Goo, and Human Resource Machine? I'm gonna say World of Goo.
Yeah, me too.
A side question of the day, which you can respond to us on Twitter for, is: are you excited for? Do you want Yandere Simulator on the Switch?
Twitch won't allow it, but Switch will.
You got it. Ding ding ding.
Okay, on Pluggy Plugs, Arms wrote an editorial. OMG, Arms wrote something hype on getting out of a gaming slump. There's Persona and Breath of the Wild pictures there.
Mm-hmm.
So you can read that. You might get spoiled. I'm pretty sure it's like one of the earlier released screens of Persona 5 that was used.
Soren, don't look at that article.
I think it's just like the battle screen.
Yeah.
He doesn't care.
Like nothing. It's just the main character and the battle screen. I don't think you can even see anything else.
Yeah,
but whatever.
He wouldn't care. He doesn't want to see anything.
And I wrote an article that Amazon and Netflix don't understand anime fans. So go read that if you want to.
Oh my god, they totally understand anime fans.
If you want to hear about a guy complain about multi-billion-dollar corporations not understanding me.
Look, they have Teen Titans Go on there, all right?
Actually, I think Amazon does legit have like stuff like Avatar and Teen Titans Go.
I know Netflix has like Cartoon Network stuff. Courage the Cowardly Dog is the best anime.
Amazon also has Clannad listed as from like 1905 or something. So
1905. Wow. 1905 had the best anime.
Yeah, I mean that was a grueling wait for After Story in 2009.
Yeah, nothing like that pre-World War I Clannad.
Nothing like waiting 100 years for the sequel.
Yeah.
And apparently Fire Emblem Heroes next Thursday. And
I believe
sure
it comes out. Well, I mean, it comes out the 2nd, right?
Yeah.
So I think probably just mention that because I think you can expect us to talk about that a lot.
Okay.
At least I know I will be on next week's episode. So
there's a question mark here. Why is there a question mark here?
Oh, because I thought it was the Thursday, but I wasn't sure. But I just checked, and it's Thursday the 2nd.
Yeah, it's Thursday. Okay, I thought the question mark was because we're still not sure if it's timed exclusive or not.
Oh, no, it's definitely iOS. They tweeted like yesterday.
Okay, I haven't been paying attention to this game at all, but that's really weird that the Direct seemed to imply it was timed exclusive, but whatever.
Yeah.
Also, subscribe or follow, us on VidMe for all your Unleashed needs. I think I uploaded like an episode of PlayStation Point there, but I can't get the thumbnails for it, so. And I think there hasn't been one since I uploaded that anyway, so yay. Subscribe on YouTube for the exact same content as VidMe, but slightly earlier, as well as iTunes and Google Play Music for the audio version of the podcast, which I tried to give I don't know why, but last week I just felt like giving it out early on iTunes and Google Play, but it took forever to process, so it didn't happen. Follow us on Twitter. I'm at Double31.
I'm at Dashy007.
I'm at Replays High Heretic.
Arms, who we never mentioned, well, we did mention, but never mentioned is missing, is at ArmsMXZ. Blazekick is at BlazekickTweet. Nintendo Unleashed is at Nin Unleashed. Visit BlazeKick.com for all your broken theme goodness.
Oh god.
Visit BlazeKick.com for your once-a-month editorials.
Hey, I write weekly editorials.
Check out our Patreon for once-a-week, maybe, posts.
Hey, no, Arm said don't do that.
Yeah, sorry.
We're relaunching Patreon. I mean, you can pledge if you want, but we're not doing anything with it right now. So, same with VidMe. You can, I think it's called tip. You can tip us, but I haven't looked into that at all, so we're probably not going to get it. So,
So basically, support us if you want, but we're working on giving you guys stuff that you might enjoy for tipping and giving us money.
just turn off ad block if you want to support us. That's probably the best way right now.
That should really just be our end slate. Turn off ad block. Don't go to Patreon or VidMe.
Well, go to VidMe. Just don't tip us on VidMe.
We're really sending some mixed signals to our 2 people audience.
This is a great ending.
Yep.
Anyway,
so I'll be a guest next year, right? That's gonna happen. I'm a guest at least once a year on this podcast.
well, you see, I thought it would be a good idea to get you because you were supposed to be on Unleashed 100 but got sick. So kind of all the other guests were like just on. Because, I mean, everyone that I would ask was on Unleashed 100 except for you.
So I'm going to be on for Unleashed 200.
Sure.
Just you, nobody else.
Yeah, I'm going to be the only host. Good luck.
Good luck. Unleashed 200 is just going to be hosted by Tyler. The Me, Arms, and Noah aren't going to be there.
You're not going to be playing not Nintendo games.
I think Obama is hosting Unleashed 420.
Pew, 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 pew.
It's going to be like, hello, citizens of BlazeKicktopia.
I hope you understand that this country is screwed. It's very screwed.
When are we gonna get to 420? He might not be in anymore.
Yeah, let's
103.
Let's just say, well, we'll probably not even get to 420. Let's be honest here. I'm gonna say this straight up. Either the world is gonna end because of our president, or we're just gonna, or the website's gonna shut down before we hit 420.
We'll see. Well, maybe the
I'm
last
being optimistic.
maybe the last episode we do, regardless of the actual number, will be 420.
I'm gonna be optimistic.
Didn't we say that was gonna be the end of Unleashed 420?
Oh yeah.
And then we're gonna upload 421, and it's gonna be called We Lied.
When we do the video.
Oh, that's a lot of
when we do the video cut for like the end of the Unleashed podcast, it's just gonna be me smoking a blunt. Man.
Yeah, we're gonna use that.
I don't even smoke weed.
We're gonna use that filter thing to add blunts to all of us.
Yeah, it's not even gonna be like.
It's gonna be terribly synced up, so the blunt's gonna be like sticking out of our cheek.
Some non-copyright Rocksteady. I'm just gonna do that. I'm just gonna do the one. I'm gonna do episode 2 of Hitman for that episode as like background video, because in that one you can kill your target by poisoning a marijuana blunt.
Oh god. All right. Longest ending ever. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Be sure to check out Reddit. We have our Reddit. We have a Reddit. Go check it out. Yeah, we haven't updated it in 2 years. Bye.
Best ending.